Grand Rising, everybody. This is Dice Game G back here on Telegram, and we ain't been on Telegram for a good while, And I see a lot of people are leaving Telegram, leaving this platform. So I don't know why. I guess the novelty is gone out of it, or people got other platforms, especially like YouTube, Patreon, you know, Instagram, Facebook, people still got a whole lot. And then what was it? I can't even remember. But a lot of people, they own a lot of platforms, and I know Telegram, is just making, a little bit too much, But we love Telegram. Me and my brother Dickie Jr., we love Telegram. That's why we stand on it, because it's a lot of content, it's a lot of intel on, Telegram. And, and I speak to people and I tell people a lot, we have a lot of intel information that you need to know if you want to know, especially it goes on about the medical field or what's going on in politics or, extraterrestrial, anything that is tainting on, being exposure out about a government, UFO, all that stuff. You can come on. We are VishusTv or Dickie Jr. and Dice Game Show, and we got 10,000 pictures on there, and almost over 9,000 videos uploaded. So if you want to know anything, because that's why I tell people I don't throw receipts, and I just redirect them to our Telegram, and we used to do a lot of Telegram lives, and we started finding out that about Rumble and YouTube was basically competing, and I understand why they are competing, because it's a lot of people is waking up and they want a lot of fresh intel. They want to know what's really going on, like this topic we talking about today. Trump is bringing the House of Cards down. He was that Trump card, and the Illuminati cards. For the ones who know what I'm speaking about the Illuminati cards, Trump have a Trump card in there, and it speaks about he was going to bring down the House. See, a lot of people got to learn how to decode that shit, and Donald Trump, we already know Donald Trump is a full-fledged Mason, and you see it. He showed the symbols, he showed the signs, I'm doing this live before the live we doing, me and Dickie Jr. doing this Saturday night at 9 p.m., because we're going to be talking about Obama, we're going to be talking about Adam Schiff, we're going to be talking about Nancy Pelosi, we're going to be talking about Hillary Clinton. Yeah, we know news team, but we do our intel, we do our research, and we trying to expose this shit. When we've been exposing this for over 2 decades now, and this is what I was trying to come up on Telegram to speak about Trump bringing the House down, and also about our messages that we've been speaking all over the years about. We were speaking about the Illuminati. We were speaking about this Trump card. We were speaking about, the House is going to come down. All these actors and actresses was going to get, exposed. If not exposed, their contract is ending. And that's what we are witnessing right now. You know what I'm saying? The old contracts has gone out, especially with the Native Americans, with the indigenous people. It's a lot of stuff coming out right now. And we told a lot of people for the last 5 years that 2025, well, I've been speaking on 2025 for the last 15 years, because I've been getting messages for a long time about 2025. And you can go back on our podcast show, because we have it in the link in the description, off our videos and stuff. And you see when we started our podcast in 2019, I spoke about 2025, and you see what's going on in 2025. it's a lot of, excuse me, it's a lot of, TVs going on too. So if you can't hear me, what I'm saying, bear with me, we got people watching TV, but we spoke about 2025, and we spoke about, a lot of this stuff was going to be exposed, especially what's going on in Capitol Hill, and these politicians and these actors. We spoke about this in like 2017. That list came out. You see in that list, you got over 250,000 names on that list, and it's all covering mostly people in politicians and in Hollywood. And now, they've been scared. They've been running, fleeing, that list for quite some time, ever since the Epstein's, case. So, I mean, we the people been speaking about and trying to push up. We want to see the Epstein files because, we know what's in it. We just want to be, want that confirmation that what we've been knowing or what we've been hearing, that, these people got their names on these lists. That's all the people want to know. They want to know that it's our poor government or the Epsteins or the people that we've been looking up to. And I ain't talking about myself. I'm talking about people in general, because a lot of people, they got their idols. They worship, or they don't worship. They look up to these people in Hollywood. And I know everybody, got to have somebody, a mentor, somebody to look up to, just to, go have an upbringing in their life. Because some people just don't have a father figure. Some people don't have a mother figure. So they figure they look up to they everyday artists or rappers or R&B stars and stuff like that. But now now all the information that's coming out and all this stuff is, it's flowing like a fucking a fucking waterfall. All this information that's been breaking out, speaking about what's been going on in Hollywood, all the sacrifice, all the rituals, and that is hard now. And I told you, and I told my listeners all over the years that it's gonna be a time that they're gonna be not able to deny all this information that's coming out on them, and we are at it right now. You see what's going on with the P. Diddy case. Trump now, was asking, well, he put out about with Diddy's judge, tell him to give him the max. So what's the max? 20 years, 30 years? On a pimping charge, because therefore they didn't find him guilty with the trafficking. They didn't find him guilty on none of that. So only thing they got him guilty on was saying was Diddy is a pimp. He just been pimping out, these women and pimping out these guys. Diddy just gay. And most of these people that joins his parties, his parties ain't nothing but grown folks that just have they weird sexual way of showing what they do. I'm just saying, and a girl named Allie Carter was trying to be heard. She's a whistleblower speaking out about what's happened to her in Hollywood against Diddy and all the rest of these satanic clowns. You know what I'm saying? And she hearing that the trafficking charge, he got off on that. It broke her down, because people don't understand that if you speaking out on these people, you trying to expose these people, and then knowing that you was right there at that time when all this stuff was going on. Allie Collar was trafficked around. And then you hearing Jaguar Wright speak about it, and then a lot of people is questioning Jaguar Wright. I've been questioning it for a while, but like I told you, when these people come in the industry, they have to take the order. They have to take the Baphometic oath. And that's why I've been speaking about Jaguar Wright. You know what I mean? Jaguar Wright. She's got a lot of demons on her. And also, too, we don't know if she's playing us because the fact that she took the oath, she took the order too. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to, just take, these people like a grain of salt. You can't just, you know what I'm saying, just take and run with it because they speak about it or what they say. Because, you would thought, Jaguar Wright would have been that person that be understand what I can't say Ali Carter was speaking on because she was speaking on what she was speaking about Diddy. And then you start seeing that, Jaguar Wright did a whole 360, kind of turned on Ali Carter. Was saying, well, she was making all of this stuff up and stuff like that. See, this is what I was questioning. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? She buying into it. She trying to cover this stuff up. She just another flunky, a puppet. You know what I mean? Coming out and trying to put certain messages out, and then the rest of it keep it covered, keep it concealed. That's I mean, I'm, you cannot trust these people that's coming in the industry. You know, I don't care how beloved they seem to be, how nice they seem to be, but you don't know what these people doing behind closed doors. So I don't want to divert from the topic hand with Trump bringing down the House of Cards, and as he puts in the federal government to take over Washington D.C. And then, I mean, and the locals, they are happy about that. It's because it's a lot of crimes that's happening in Washington D.C. as that always been. Ever since the 80s and late 70s, early 80s and stuff like that. Especially with the drug problem. Now we got the gang problem. Now, and not just the gang problem. Now we got the biggest gang of them all. It's really showing their ass, and that's the government. But not the government that we know, the secret government, the deep state. The deep state been, because they know they're losing all cars, and they see the public is waking up. They really, really pissed off because they thought they was gonna keep, they were gonna keep continuing and to stage stuff so they can go on with their new world order agenda. And I ain't saying that's off the table because we still in this fight. Because like I said, how deep this rabbit hole go. Now we finding out a lot of stuff that, that been going on, and then finding out who's been helping and been behind all this shit. You cannot deny, that you can trust these people because you can't. So now we got a big problem hand is to now, I don't know if you want to just back up Donald J. Trump, because like I said, you cannot be up there with all that money, with all that wealth, all that fame, if you ain't looped in the game. That's just what it is. And that's why I see with Donald J. Trump. But he have an agenda to bring down this House of Cards, and while he bringing down this House of Cards, starting up the new as well. That's why I've been hearing for a long time about Donald Trump, ever since 2015. But I was always told from Spirit to stay on Donald Trump trail, because he's the one who's gonna expose this, bring the cars down, bring the house down. And then that's when you start learning all the truth. Because when you bring something, the old down, the truth have to come out now. And that's what is happening. But now, can we stop the new agenda? That new agenda, well, we know we always speak about the new world order. Can we stop that new of coming into the new ages of the AI, artificial intelligence, Terminator type fucking agenda? Because they, like I said, they make all these movies speaking about what they finna do in the future. A lot of people were thinking, oh, this is something that's made up. I mean, God, if they made this stuff up, this is some great, incredible, stuff here. Whoever is is sitting back thinking about uh, um, these movies, writing out these movies. Shit, they make me feel so real. You know what I mean? But my understanding, and that's why I seen it, why it's so real and so good, that it's really part of our reality. It's just been planned out to the future. You know what I mean? And as I was growing up in the '80s, when they was talking about, well, the Jetsons, or they was talking about in the future we was gonna have phones as come as your rich watch. You know what I mean? See, that was in the '80s. That was just something, a fantasy. That was something that oh, this what the technology could be in the future. You know, and don't you see it? Don't then they come out with it. You know, like everything else, like Enemy of the State with Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? When they had a fucking uh, a fucking I don't know what eye in the sky in outer space. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you go, they're gonna be tracking you. You know what I mean? And looking down on you. See, they've been having it then. I'm just saying they have technology that we cannot fathom right now what they have. You know what I mean? Right now we thinking we got these smartphones and we got these PS5s and stuff. That's all new technology, but it's not. It's old technology. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do your research on that. This is old technology. You know what I mean? From the old city of Atlantis. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do your own research. You know what I mean? Or go on this channel, go under, you know what I'm saying, all the memes and pictures and old and videos that has been posted up on this channel. We are #VishusTv. You know, go back and see and check them out. You know what I'm saying, and see can all your answer all your questions, because we have them here on this channel. You know, and I know a lot of people, kind of look at our channel like it goes overhead. But if I spoke about, your it's your conscious awareness, it stages to it. You know what I mean? Especially if you sitting here, doing your research and meditating and talking to your ancestors and asking the Most High to come in and take all your progressions and all your demons off of you. You know what I mean? See, this is all shadow work, and when you do your shadow work, and when you get that trauma at bay, you might can start awakening up some of your DNA. You know what I'm saying? See, this is how deep this this information could be for you. If you just start uh, doing your shadow work. And when you do your shadow work, because I know a lot of people right now figure where they cleanse from their trauma, and they can really talk to people, really go on this platform and speak about it, but then something triggered them back into their old way, or back into that trauma, that traumatized thought that they used to have, or that way they was in. You know what I mean? That means you still not fully healed from your trauma. If anything could come back and jolt you back in. It's like a crackhead been on crack for many years, and now he decided, or he or she trying to decide to quit, and now something came up, or some trauma that happened in their life, and then they just fall off the bandwagon, because something bad happened, or they got really into their head, so they go back and start smoking crack again. You see what I'm saying? See, you got to stay strong. You got to stay in your circle. You know what I mean? You got to stay square. You got to stay straight, stand up in your square. You can't just, because something, bad happened, or something that can get you upset and mad and stuff, have you fallen off the bandwagon. That means you still, stuck with that trauma. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff I've been witnessing with a lot of people nowadays with their trauma. As I spoke about the drugs, because they always want to say that it's the drug, it's the problem. No, it's the trauma. The trauma start first, and then the drugs start, and then when the drugs start, then that's when the addiction comes. See, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just ain't understanding, you know what I'm saying, how this shit goes. You know, they just listen to somebody else or just, you know, buy into because somebody said and it sound real good, then they're gonna go with it. You know, that's how we got fucked up in this trap in the first place, especially with Obama anyway. Obama just pimped on out, and then a lot of people thought, you know, he was a straight heterosexual guy, but he was gay. He been gay. His wife is a transgender. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not racist or really, you know, want to go in and attack, you know what I'm saying, gay folks, because, you know, I don't do things like that. It's just when you trying to push it on our children and you trying to lie and trying to stay in the closet and trying to hide yourself, that let me know that you are fake. You are somebody that could be manipulated and manipulate people. You know what I'm saying? That makes me think that, you know what I'm saying, something is up with you. You're not to be trusted. I'm just saying, because now we in that times now, everything is being exposed right now, and now we need to have these conversations. Now we need to, you know, start, you know, bringing this shit out to the forefront now, because as like I said, Trump bringing the House of Cards down, and he's, like I said, we're gonna go in Saturday. Me and Dickie Jr. gonna go in Saturday, talk about Obama for a 2-hour special, you know, about everything we've been saying about Obama. And not just Obama, just the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm not leaving them out either, because you have some guilty and dirty motherfuckers right there in the Republican Party too as well. You know what I mean? So ain't no sense of trying to leave one out, because they all, you know what I'm saying, on the same team. To me, they are. You know what I mean? Because they the ones know, see, behind the scenes, they know the truth. They already know, you know what I'm saying, they control the people and they manipulate the masses. And the news are scripted, as well as sports and fucking WWE and all this shit is all scripted. See, at one point in time, I knew WWE was scripted. Now, when we finding out that basketball and football is scripted, you know what I'm saying, what's not scripted now? You know what I'm saying? What's been always scripted? That's what I'm asking. Because if that's scripted, everything in the world is scripted. That this falls into they system. So that made me think the Matrix is all fucking true. That we have these agents, you know what I'm saying, out here to make sure that we still fall in line with their control population agenda. You know, because right now, as we move into the new era, we thinking that Donald Trump, this is what I'm saying. This to what I'm saying. When we sitting up here thinking that Donald Trump is really is for the people and is trying to do right by the people and bring all this stuff out and stuff, and you guys question yourself, question the situation, because he's the person who was going to bring down the old system and expose the old. Well, we gotta ask ourselves, okay, is he doing this? You know what I'm saying? What's gonna spring up after this? You know what I'm saying? When he bring down the house, when he drained the swamp. Plus, when we say drain the swamp, you know what I'm saying, that made me think about they number reptilians, most of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's that wording again. You know, when you hear swamp, what you think of what swamp is? Alligators, crocodiles. You know what I'm saying? Things, lizards. You know what I'm saying? Things that lives in swamps. You know what I'm saying? And most we talk about is alligators. So I'm just saying. You know what I mean? See, I wasn't gonna stay up here long. I just want to, come and talk about this. What's going to spring up if Donald Trump bring down this house, you know, and as we move into, because this is Thursday morning of Thursday in the AM, and as we go into Saturday, we go to Friday and Saturday night. That's when we're gonna have the live talking about Obama and talk about more, because right now Adam Schiff is being exposed like motherfucker, and this is what we've been waiting for. Now, when Trump talking about he was gonna arrest Hillary Clinton, he was going to expose the deep state. He was going to bring out the Epstein's files and show us and be real transparent on that. And we still don't we still don't have that that confirmation that about what's in the Epstein's files. Because come on now, we all know, and what we do know, that this list of names, who's been behind this sex trafficking, who's been, doing rituals and capturing these kids, who's been caught on that island, because at first a lot of people was thinking now, because Donald Trump is trying to divert from showing the Epstein file. Well, he could be on or on that list or have been to that island. It's still no proof or nothing coming out on Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So far, he's just so squeaky clean. Just saying. I'm not speaking against Trump or not nothing like that. Just saying. Until we have a reason, because, right now, that seems suspicious. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let that down until, otherwise, as we see, what I'm saying, if you bring out these, these files. Because I'm telling you, you seeing people, especially Americans, speak about they can't live anymore. They got to work 2 or 3 jobs, just to pay rent. And it's so true, things done came, prices done came up, from a 3-bedroom apartment came from, from $1,000 a month. Now it's like $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Foods. The foods. You go to a fucking grocery store, buy. Have 12 items, and it costs, and then 12 items cost $100. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember $100 back in the '80s used to give you a trunk full of food. I'm talking about $100 was weighing a trunk down. Milk, eggs, bread, name it. You know what I'm saying? $100 was in this, price range. But now, as we see now, we've seen a lot of homeless springing up all everywhere. We seeing people really having a tough time living. And like I was telling my family, because we've been working, every members of my family works, and we still struggling. How would that be? You know what I'm saying? Because I got a house of 9. You know what I mean? And we still struggling. How would that be? You know what I mean? That tell you how high everything is. And really it's all built by design. This is not, this is not, natural. This ain't nothing that just, came about. No. They control this shit. They've been controlling this shit. Same way a lot of these platforms, they control that shit. They can control what people hear and see. You know what I'm saying? Especially YouTube. Because right now, earlier I spoke about YouTube and Rumble was, competing with each other. Rumble been taking a lot of YouTube's members. Yes. Even though some people still, if they, they making Rumble pages and stuff, they still interacting with YouTube, of course, because it's still a big portion of the population still, posting on YouTube. And they don't realize YouTube is censoring them. Or if they do realize, they all about their check. But I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? If you can't speak your mind and you have to go against, the Constitution and rights, you can't speak what you want to speak, and then you gotta watch what you say and stuff like that. I don't see that platform have any purpose, You know, if the only purpose they do have is control and trying to control the narrative. And I don't understand why people, would love to, be controlled that way. You know, I know because they dangling the money right in front of you. Cause yeah, you need it. Everybody need that. Need the money. Need the tool. Cause that's why I look at it. Money is nothing but a tool. You know, but people worship that money. Cause remember on the movie They Live, on that money it showed in there. It said, when you put the glasses on, this is your God. I'm just saying people, we gotta start realizing, what I'm saying, what game this is. You know, a lot of people is still lost in the sauce. They're not it's all this shit is going over their head. And I know a lot of people, come to our channel, come to our VishusTv channel, Rumble channel, and they be like, man, it goes over a lot of people's head. And like I told you, what I'm saying, my conscious awareness, what I'm saying, it's way past your conscious thinking. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm not saying anything weird. I'm not lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's, coming with stuff that I've been researching. You know, I'm not gonna come up here and trying to, uh, uh, manipulate people and put up false intel and say false shit. And it's so easy for y'all to go back and look the shit up. Oh, I said some people gotta use their common fucking sense. So, I'm just saying, Trump bringing the House of Cards down, and he's bringing it down in a way that I guess people can take it, or people can, and he can really go on and just, because he have all the fucking evidence that he needs. He been having it. It just, I guess, he's doing it in a certain way so people can, so it can go down right. But I don't really give a flying fuck. He need to go on and close the house. Just saying. So people can see who's been behind this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the artists, these rappers, these singers, these actors and actresses, because they use them to traffic. Especially Jay-Z and Beyonce shows. You don't know how many people they trafficking in their fucking concerts. While they go to all different other states or going out the country. Just especially when they're going out the country, because they might, they trafficking, children and women and children from other countries back over here in the States. That's been out. Just saying, this stuff, this is you can go and Google it or look this shit up. It's all there to find. You know, that's why we've been saying, why it seems like it's so hard. Y'all can go in and find out who won the game the other day. Look that shit up. Or look up, who got the new brand new Michael Jordans who's gonna be out early. I mean, you can do things like that, but why you can't go back and research sex trafficking, researching, Barack Obama and his fucking fake birth certificate they put out. Just saying. I mean, can you answer that? I guess people not. I guess not. Because you probably so conditioned or zombified, or you got that kill shot. Because you got that kill shot, it's gonna cut you off anyway. You ain't gonna. This gonna go over your head anyway. Don't matter how much I push. It's gonna be talking to a fucking brick wall. But as Trump bring this house of cards down, with all these, like I said, these people been, especially with Obama, with this Russia collusion Same way Adam Schiff was involved with that, and they're gonna try to blame it on Trump, blame it on Alex Jones, blame it on whoever else, J6ers. You know what I'm saying? When J6 came, they locking them up and trying to say they was trying to come up and ride, and come on now. Like I said, this was all set up by Nancy Pelosi. And she even said she did it. See, that's what a lot of people done miss. Like I said, I'm not up making up shit. This shit is right here online. Just Google. So as we go into, the start of Thursday, because we don't know what's going to be coming out, it's always something that breaks every week. But you see the shift of this frequency. This shift of this frequency is fast. It's rolling. People can't keep up with time. Time, it seems like it's not existing anymore, and it's real. So please join us on Rumble, YouTube, and the Locale channel. We're gonna go definitely in talking about Obama. 2-hour special on the Digger Jr. and Dice Game show. You know what I'm saying? The link, I'm gonna send the link. It's gonna be on this platform. Hey, if it ain't already shared it, I'm gonna share it again when it comes close, because we're gonna be, discussing a lot of things that we already discussed about and we spoke about to the people to watch out for, and what Obama was doing, and like I said, I told you I don't show too much receipts, but I might be showing a few receipts that day, so people can understand that we are awakened. You know what I mean? Because we know they shadow ban us. I'm telling you, they know who's awake. They know who not to play with, or who they can play with. They know they can't play with us. They know we can't play with us. They know they know we know our sovereign rights. They know, you know what I'm saying, we are tapped in, and we are tapped into the Most High. They know this shit. They know, they can feel, they can see this frequency. Even you can't. They can. You know what I'm saying? They know who to fuck with. They know who's lost in the sauce. I mean, hell, I can too, because you can hear how a person talk about, what they talk about, with how they think. I mean, just put this shit together. So when Donald Trump brings the house down, because he's on Obama, he's on, Adam Schiff, and he done called in the federal government to take charge of Washington, D.C. And as me and my brother was talking about, ever since Donald Trump was in the last time, we've been knowing that business in the White House has been nonchalant. It ain't no business been happening in Washington, D.C. You know what I mean? They've been having it fenced off. And, I don't know what the locals is doing down there. The locals, I don't hear too many locals speak about it. But it's been, some people have been coming out saying ain't nothing been happening. But you would thought you would hear a mass of people, the locals, talk about it. But you don't. Like my brother saying, they have the local scare, or they got the local, basically when they reporting it out, they shutting it down before it gets out there to the rest of the country. They're doing something, because as when Donald Trump left the White House and moved back to back to Florida, Mar-a-Lago, you know what I'm saying, at that time when he was still in this first term, as he gave power to the U.S. military, you know what I mean. If y'all don't know that, go on and do your research. You're so far behind. Just saying. Because he gave power to our military. So, and then too, finding out, that now Washington, D.C. is its own sovereign land now. It's a sovereign country. It's not part of the United States of America. You see what I'm saying? So you got to do your own. You got to do your due diligence if you don't know this. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said this is all a shit stage show. You know what I'm saying? And you see what's going on. I posted before I did a live in Oregon. You know, on at their Capitol Hill. You know what I'm saying? If they they doing drag shows and shit. You see what I'm saying? How can you take shit like this? How you take fucking, the government or the politicians, take them seriously if you're seeing stuff like this? You're seeing drag queens doing shows and they should be passing laws. They should be doing something constructive, and they sitting there watching drag time, show. Just saying. So I'm just here, to speak about this, and as we come up on that, on that 2-hour special on Saturday, we're gonna be speaking about Obama, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, the whole Democratic and Republican Party. We're gonna be speaking about. You know what I'm saying? This is our view. This is not nobody else's. Like I said, we're not scripted, and we don't, sound like anybody else. We don't do as anybody else. We just go in and we bring in our interpretation into it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, we understand. You keep on trucking. You have your right to keep on trucking and find somebody else that you can, color up to. But we are Vicious TV. Raw Vicious Network. We give it to you raw, real, and unedited. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like what we talk about, how we say it, we curse, or whatever, you keep on trucking. But like this, you fine with them sex trafficking, but you not fine when a person sitting up here cursing or saying certain things that you don't agree with, but be telling the truth. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? This, we gotta, start, making sense out of this shit. So, just saying. So, I'm sending a word of wisdom. I love y'all. Y'all be safe out here. You know what I'm saying? Protect our babies, our children, because they are future. Yes, they are future. And quit hiding shit from them. Tell them the truth. Quit, you know what I'm saying, being so fucking toxic. I can say that. I can say that because I don't raise my babies. And they are their best versions of themselves. Just saying. They could probably get even better. And I know they're going to get better as I get better. As the whole family get better. But right now, we are in a war right now. And people going to have to start admitting it and start admitting what they see and quit, you know what I'm saying, being in the clouds, being fucking dominant. Now, if you took that kill shot, ain't no way you're going to get out of them clouds. But if you didn't, you know what I'm saying, and you still under this conditioning of these programmings, they've been programming you since you was young, you know what I'm saying, you need to start doing your shadow work. You need to start, you know what I'm saying, deprogramming from these programs. Same way we've been telling you about, fear is nothing but a program. See, they've been, we was born, we came in here without fear, but we've been programmed to fear. See, that's what they get control of, the fear. They know you scared. They know who's scared. That's why I said they know who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. They know who's sitting up here is in fucking massive fear. Because they make it, they control it, they push it every day. And they not scared. They're not scared to, you know what I'm saying, to tell you now. That's why I said this shit done getting way overblown. So I'm Dice Game Jizzle here on We Are hashtag VishusTv. Make sure you share this long and wide. This is gonna be posted on my Rumble channel, Vishu channel, YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? See, please follow us on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? YouTube is progressing a little bit by a little bit, but I already know they shadow banned us. And we're going to keep on doing this. We're going to keep on pushing the messages. We're going to keep on trying to expose this shit until until the House of Cards is down. And we have that opportunity to take this bitch back. Because we are already free. Do you know that? I know that. Do you know that? I love y'all, and I'm out.